G'day legends, and thanks for tuning in. This week's video, back on the Detroit Dodge, gonna hopefully get the engine mounted, and if we can lift it up successfully and not crush me, get the transmission sat in there and mounted as well. So do yourself a favour, grab your frothy coffee, kick back, relax, and enjoy the vid. Rightio legends, so first step, I'm going to rip the bonnet and the front clip back off this thing just so as I can hopefully use the engine crane to support this thing. It'd probably be too heavy, but I just need to bring that engine forward so the front mount sits on the front cross member there. Then I've got some steel and that to make up the rear engine mount. So like I say, I'll rip this front end off and we'll get into mounting this thing, eh? Rightio legends, so I got that engine lifted up and moved forward there. As you can see, that front mount is sitting on that front cross member now. Still got plenty of room to get a belt, fan belts on the pulleys. The sump, the drain plug is basically hovering over, sitting on that axle. So what I might do, like I said, that sump's getting either swapped around or changed. I actually found I can't use this one because it's damaged, it's rusted through, but that's the pressed steel pan, the automotive pan. So in the throes of rounding up one of those. So like I said, the sump situation is it's going to be fixed. But for now, I might just drill those mounting holes for that front mount. Once that's done, I'll lift it back up, pull that drain bung out so I can get this engine sitting down at the back a little bit. It's still tilting a bit forward. That's because of the sump sitting on the axle. So I'll drill them holes, move that, remove that bung, get this thing sitting down, and then we'll talk about the rear mounts, eh? Rightio legends, so I've got that sun plug out. I've had to elevate the chassis a bit, take a bit of weight off the suspension because the sump is still hitting the axle. I can't get the angle of the motor to mount it properly without elevating the chassis, so that's what I've done. As you can see, had Cody actually knock me up these plates on his computer and the CNC plasma cutter. So I've got this plate, it's not obviously bolted on there, it's just sat on there. And I've got this other mounting plate there, so that's just gonna slot straight into there. Obviously I'm gonna have a bit of rubber under these mounts, front and rear, but for now this is gonna work out fine. So I'll tighten those bolts up and I'll get this mount welded on. I'll have to go ahead and trim up this plate here for the other side. A bit too short, unfortunately, but it would have worked out a treat if it was a bit longer, as you can see. So I might just cut the gussets in the mounting plate off this one, and then yeah, cut up some more of that 150 10mm plate and copy the other side. So yeah, fire up the welder, get that left side mounted and work on the right side. Rightio legends, so it's a new day, back in the shop working on the Detroit Dodge, and what I want to get achieved today, see if I can get this transmission, this Allison transmission, set up under there, bolted to the back of the Detroit. I've had a look at this thing and it looks like the spot where we're going to have to make a mount is on the back of the extension housing here. So there's 4 bolts here to choose from. I could probably just get away with 2, but I might see if I can use the 4. I don't know if I have the materials to execute the job today, but that's what I'm saying. This is just a trial fit to get it up in there, check for clearance and see what I got to do to make a mount and the cross member as well. So to help us get the job done today, the legends over at Knobsite have hooked your boy up again. They've come out with this new release of these lanterns. So these things are awesome. They're particularly handy for working like under the dash, underneath the car. They don't rely on a focal point of light. They put these frosted covers on, which makes them the lantern, and they give you a 360-degree light. They don't just, smash your eyeballs where they're pointing. So They've got two features of the light. It's got the yellow orange sort of halogen style or the bright white LED. So there's just two little dials on the back of the light. So you hit this one, so there's your yellow orange. And there's your white, or if you really like to party, you chuck both on. And like I say, it's just casting a 360 light. There's not like one focal point, which is, yeah, really handy sort of when you need to set it up and you can't get exactly where you're pointing for some reason. Well, this thing's just gonna cast it all the way around. And as you can see, it's got the mag base on it, so proper handy, and also has a thread mounted underneath the base there, so you can make a stand. You can put it sort of wherever you want, however you want to mount it. So bloody awesome, I reckon. So they sent us two, so I'll just open this up for you here. So that's the light, and that should be the frosted cover there. So let's just see what we're working with here. Open him up. So nice packaging as always. They come pre-charged. I'm not going to blind you with the light, but as you can see. So I'll sit that down there. So have a look what we got here. Yep, that's the cover. So I'll just get this out of here. And this just screws in here, simple as. And then boom, there's your light. How good is that? So like I say, these things are gonna be magic for me in the shed here, and also when I wanna, you know, go camping, hang them on off the side of the car, off the side of the tent, whatever I wanna do, however I wanna use them. So bloody awesome, as always. Head to their website, check it out, code BAMBAM, get yourself a healthy little discount there. And yeah, I rate them, and I'm just using them flat out in the shed here. So if you want a new dual purpose camping light and a workshop light, I rate them, they are awesome. So get on them and get yourself a discount, eh? Rightio, so we're gonna have to work out, obviously this thing's sitting on a pallet at the moment. It does have a pretty decent sort of flat base as far as the sump goes on this thing. I'm debating whether I try and yeah, fork it in there or use the floor jack. Either way, it's probably not going to be the greatest, but I just got to work out, yeah, the sort of safest way about doing it. So I'll put my thinking cap on, clear some stuff out of the road, and see if we can get this thing slotted in there, right? Rightio, so just knocked the oil filter and the transmission dipstick off this thing, just to make it a bit more compact so it doesn't interfere with anything. Height-wise, it's not going to work getting this thing under there on the pallet, so gonna have to try and lift it up with the jack potentially, or maybe even I was thinking slinging some ratchet straps across the chassis rail yet. Not too sure. Like I said, hopefully the least sketchiest of those two options, but I'll have a play and hopefully we can get it in there. Rightio, legends. Well, that couldn't have gone any better if I actually tried. I only just thought about using the engine crane at the last second. And basically, yeah, swung her in here, ratchet strapped around the transmission, and hoisted her up, and it just lined up dead center. The transmission was lined up, like rocking exactly in the middle, bolt holes lined up, slammed a few bolts in there, and now it's held up by the ratchet strap. Wow, that was awesome. I really wasn't looking forward to putting that transmission in this thing, but that didn't hurt at all. So yeah, I've just had a quick sticky peek under here as to what I got to do as far as the transmission mount and cross member is concerned. Like I said, so these are the two bolt holes that I'm going to use. Well, there's four there, so it's either two or the four to use to mount this thing. And basically that's just sitting above the bottom level of the chassis rail. So depending on if I move this thing up or down or not, like I said, it's not sort of, it can still move around a little bit, but either way, a basic sort of cross member from one side of the chassis rail to the other with a nice juicy mount on there. This thing's going to work out really well. Like it's either going to, the cross member is either going to be on the bottom side or sit on the top side of the bottom there. Not too sure, but that is going to work out very straightforward. This transmission is sitting in a really good spot. As you can see, there's so much clearance around the transmission. Plenty of height, obviously, from the floor going up to the sump. So that's not an issue. So yeah, we've really got the engine and the transmission sitting in an awesome spot on this thing. So like I say, it was a bit of an unknown as to how it was all going to work out, but it's, yeah, so far so good. So these, obviously these mounts aren't, I haven't drilled them to the chassis to lock them down. I've still got to get the fuel pump put in here and that, so there's still a little bit of flexibility for this thing to sort of move backwards and potentially up or down a little bit. I can make an extension mount off the front if I want to. Like I say, this is all a bit suck it and see, so but so far really happy. And I think, like I said, once I get the fuel pump and start adding a few other bits to it, yeah, its final destination will be sorted out for me. But for now, really happy with it. The exhaust is in a good spot. Transmission's got, like I said, it's got all the clearance I'm ever going to need, so really happy with that. The factory tunnel, the factory Dodge tunnel, it's going to clear by a country mile. As you can see, I'll get down at floor level here. It's not even poking through. Like, how good is that? And I'm pretty sure Gav's going to be rapt to see this thing slotted in there too. So, yeah, really happy with that. So I think that'll button us off for this video. Like I said, I just wanted to get the engine and transmission sat in there, locked sort of in a position to work out a few more things of how everything's going to go, but really happy with how that is at the moment. So yeah, like I said, so the next move on this thing will be the sump. I've got to find one of those pressed steel sumps and pickups. I'll have to probably pull the engine out to do it, unless I pull the front end out of this thing in place. If I pull the front end out to swap the other one in while I'm doing that, I can pull the sump down, swap the new sump onto it. Once I do that, I'm going to work out if that engine is sort of where it wants to be, whether I want to drop it down a bit lower or not. Probably not, because I don't want to sort of float with the ground a bit too much. I just sort of, I'm really happy with the height, where it is in relation to the cab. So like I say, the next time you see us, hopefully we'll have the new sump. We'll get that slotted in there. We'll work out the transmission cross member, and maybe we'll even walk down here. Like I said, it's drying out a lot outside, so I probably can access the rear axle that's going to go into this thing, and we can probably look at putting the rear suspension and the front suspension under it. So, but for now, really happy, like I say, with finding out that the engine and transmission is going to live happily where it is. And gonna, like I said, I've still got heaps of room for a radiator. Transmission's got miles of clearance, exhaust is going to work. So yeah, really happy with all that. So that's going to button us off for today. As always, if you like what you see, do us a favour, like, comment, share and subscribe. If you want yourself a set of those knob sight lens, head to knob sight, use my code BAMBAM, get yourself a discount, and I'll catch you on the next one, legends.